Why do agents sound so much alike? When you get a phone call from an agent, hey, is Bob Smith home? Yakety schmackety. They all are saying the same thing. And guess what the customer's built-in response to that is? Click. Because they don't want to talk to you. So what's the script? What's the thing that we could talk about to get them to want to talk to us? How can we get out in front of this? I like to do an analogy here. I like to imagine that there's a woman sitting at a bar. All right, she's had a long day, not a hard day, but a long day. She's enjoying a cocktail. And we're sitting there, we're watching, and somebody walks up and decides to try to talk to her, flirt a little bit, let's say. And they walk up, and we're sitting close enough that we can hear what the person says, and we hear them use the most tired, worn out, used up pickup line you've ever heard. The dating equivalent of, hey baby, what's your sign? Right? We at the table are hearing this and we cringe. We see her, you can see she's a nice person. She tries not to hurt people's feelings. She outwardly cringes. You know there's a little piece of her soul that just died that's not coming back. You got to imagine her outlook, and frankly our outlook at the table for the continued existence of the human species is just taking a nosedive. Option two, we see somebody walk up and try to talk to the same nice lady sitting there enjoying her drink, and they say something to her, and it takes her a second. And then all of a sudden she starts to laugh hilariously. She's got tears coming down, and you can tell her cheeks hurt, her stomach. She may have peed herself just a little bit, she's laughing so hard. Who do you think's got a better shot at her phone number? The reality of it is, in our business, we're the person approaching the woman at the bar. If we're saying the same garbage that every other agent is, if we're repeating the same scripts, the same pickup lines that every other agent is, do you not think the customer hasn't heard that before? Does anyone listening to this video want to be sold to? Everybody's sick of being sold to. And because I can anticipate that about the customer, I don't want to sound like them, so I got to walk up and say something that's different. So there's a three-part framework to any call that I'm going to have with a customer. In fact, even when agents bring me a customer, they want to take and partner a customer with me, there's one critical thing that I always want to be on. I want to be on the intro call. Because in the intro call, I'm going to start off by the introducing myself piece of the equation. Not going to give a lot about the resume or whatever else, but I'm going to immediately go to establishing as much credibility as I can in the room, because the most critical, valuable real estate in that room is my seat at the table. They don't owe me one, so I go in, my first thing is, how do I show them they don't want to proceed doing any kind of thing in real estate unless they got me at this table, because I bring valuable information. I go in knowing they don't think that about me, and I need them to think that about me, because that is the thing that gives me certainty that I've given them value that my competitors just can't compete with. They don't know how. So walking in, the customer comes in, we're thinking of investing. All right, well, you're thinking about investing. Here are the things that my investor customers right now seem to be concerned with. Here's the stuff that we're looking at. Here's the way we're mitigating those concerns. Here's where the opportunities are. These are the things I would say to stay away from. Frankly, the mental position I take is I don't care whether or not they do a deal with me. I want to make sure they don't make a mistake after having talked to me. So basically, I give away a lot of free information up front. But what that does for me, it establishes a differential between what I know and what they know. They might think that the agent knows more than they do, but they think it's something like that. The broader that differential between what the agent knows and what they know, the more value that agent has to them, because they have two choices. They can train themselves up to fill this gap, or they can hire the person that does this and they can focus on the other things that they want to do. It's the reason why you go to a doctor, because you don't want to have to go get a medical license to take and figure out what the heck's wrong with you. You go to somebody that they've done that work so you don't have to. So I want to walk in, part one, step one, establish my credibility, all right? Then I want to take part two, is to find out what they're looking to do specifically. I'm going to then ask the questions as I'm trying to do this of, all right, guys, what are you looking to do? Oh, all right, how much money are you looking to bring in? How much Are you looking to buy a house? Great. Why do you want to buy a house? What's the reason why you're doing it? Why this area? Like, I want to make sure. And if they say stuff, I want to take and have something to push back on with everything and bring some, well, you're going to buy a single family home. I get it. But from what we were just talking about, it seems like you guys travel a lot. Do you really want to be on the hook for the exterior maintenance of the house? Maybe something that's like a townhouse might be better for you because you're on the road so much. I mean, have you considered that? I want to bring ideas and options to the table. Just simply taking and filling out a waiter or a server pad of what their order is doesn't really take and establish any value. So I'm going to take and let them know what the lay of the land is, and then I'm going to figure out what they want and give them some suggestions as we go as to things they may not have thought about, because there's supposed to be one expert in the room on what the options are, and it's not supposed to be them. Why do I trust them to know what the best option is for them? Sometimes they do. Oftentimes you'll be shocked. Oh, we'd never thought about that. That might make sense. This is, again, earning that seat at the table. The last thing that I'm going to do is, based upon getting their information now and making my suggestions, we're going to formulate a plan to get them from where they are to where they want to be. And sometimes, folks, I got to tell you, that could take years. I am a big believer that customers walk in the door as fruit or seeds. This is a broker friend of mine shared this with me years ago, and I love it. He said, smart agents don't do what most agents do. Most agents eat the fruit, toss the seeds. The smart agents eat the fruit and plant the seeds. And the reason why you want to do that is because if they're not going to be ready for 2 years from now, you're still going to be in this business 2 years from now? Well, I hope the hell so. Guess who's the beneficiary of me working on the planting the seeds and tending them? Future Josh, in my case. You know who that is? That's me. That is a sale that I have in the books, in the bank 2 years from now, when I get their credit sorted out, when we take and get their budget, when we take and get that down payment put together. I'm the one that's going to benefit from that, and as are they. And more so than anybody, you want to talk about who your loyal customers are going to be? Those people that you took, that without your help, without your call, hey guys, are you sticking with the budget? You remember we had the plan. How's it going? Oh, Josh, we went out to eat last week. We went over our budget. All right, well, you got to make it up this week. We remember why we want to get that house. I want to see your kids go to college. I want to see you retire. I want to take and have that wealth be building for you. I keep watching these home prices go up. I want that for you guys. Let's get you there. Those people are going to be the ones that will be loyal to you forever because you put the work in to get them where they need to be. You got to understand, guys, there's a vast differential between the value, the wealth of those that rent and the wealth of those that buy. The time, hours, weeks, months, years that I've spent working with this customer. It doesn't work out with everybody. There's all kinds of customers I invested all kinds of time in. They never wound up buying. They moved away. They wound up going with another agent. It happens. But the ones that I stuck with that did buy, man, when you could show them the hundreds of thousands of dollars of wealth they built because they own real estate rather than being a renter, the joy that gives you in your soul and the loyalty it builds among them, nothing really can duplicate that. This is a beautiful business where we sell a beautiful product that changes people's lives. Never lose sight of that. You got to keep the joy of that in your conversation, because the joy of the product you sell, knowing not in your head, in your soul that your product is good, is what allows you to have a conversation that's not only full of information, but it's full of anticipation, full of joy, full of hope. And if there's one thing everybody in this world responds to, it's hope. Keep that hope component alive. Keep the joy of your product as part of what you're doing, and you will have a script then that will match any customer and never fail you.